Hello, everyone. I feel quite excited to be here, and I'm glad that Bilgi University IT Law Institute organized this great event with great people. I'm a little bit scared as well, to be honest, because I was able to listen some of the panels in the morning part, and being as a representative of the global tech companies here is a little bit frightening. So I hope you will behave me well. Can I? Yeah, here it is. I will sit down as well. Everybody can hear me well, I hope. Yeah, perfect. So today I will be talking about a concept we call responsible innovation and AI for social good. So I will start actually from the very beginning, but of course it changes what we call the beginning. Is there anyone in this room who remembers this page? So we are a quite young audience, I think. No one remembers. 30 years ago, it was Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who is the father of the internet, who built the World Wide Web. It's been 30 years right now, and in 30 years, look at how things changed. And this year, Google celebrated 21st anniversary, and we also see that in 21 years, a lot of things changed as well. So what we can see, first of all, this is remarkable because today, half of the world's population is online. This is a 50-50 moment for all of us. And it means that half of the world is actually unleashing the opportunities, hopefully, of the internet. But there's still a lot of way to go. And this, of course, brings a lot of challenges that people in this panel, in the conference, in the keynote speeches, they also mentioned the challenges part more broadly. But I am hoping to focusing on some opportunities as well. So life is really fast. And we can say that with this digital transformation, we've moved from villages to big cities overnight, probably, right? Things are really changing so fast. But again, the challenges we are facing requires us to giving some thoughtful thinking and some responsibilities as well on the front of our values, principles, laws, regulations, you can call it them as well. I think most of the audience is lawyers here. Can you please raise your hands, the lawyers? Wow. As scientists, engineers? Few. I am none. I didn't mention, but I am dealing with the government and public policy relations for Google in Turkey. So how we will set up these new rules and new regulations, how this 50% of the world's population can make the most out of the web safely, and how we can get along together safely. So we need some new regulatory frameworks, maybe principles, maybe other kind of rules. At Google, we call this responsible innovation. So what is responsible innovation? If you are living in a world most digitizing every single day, more and more, then you will need to think about what kind of future you are designing as well. So we believe that responsible innovation has 3 pillars. One of them is data safety, security, and privacy, and probably most of the audience is very much interested in that part. But at the same time, we believe that for responsible innovation, you need the new skills, future skills, and which is also focused on the economic development, growth, economic impact in countries, in societies, for SMBs, everyone actually, for big business, for small business, everyone. So what we are talking about, when we are talking about privacy, security, and safety, actually this comes first. On all Google products, safety, security, and privacy is something that comes for the first time because we always start with the user. We are a company built on open web, right? Users are our everything, actually. And that's the reason why you have to keep the safety, security, and privacy of the users. And to allow this, you have to give the control to them. They need the transparency, and also they need to be in control, and they need to be informed about what we are doing with their data, how they can manage their data, and so on. So this is one part of it. In second part, let's look at the security. Security is something vital, and you can't have privacy without security. And for example, let's look at the data. What kind of data we have? We have the private data, the email, photos, videos, you are recording, your files, you are storing. These are your private data, and what we do with this private data, we are locking it down for you, and actually this is, it is very important that this is fundamentally secure and private and safe. On the other hand, there is your digital footprint that you're leaving behind you when you are moving across the web. And this is also another important part of the data, and we should be also keep you in control and transparent on that. And third part is the data about your activity. So I'm not a data expert, but I hope I covered all these three areas. So we use your activity data to enhance your your user experience. However, we also work hard with the industry players in order to use less data and do more for you. I mean, how can we decrease the level of data we use to serve you much better services, and how we can do this? I will tell you more just a little bit later. Now I would like to ask you a question. Is there anyone who doesn't know Google accounts here? I'm not meaning Gmail, Google accounts. Have you ever heard Google accounts? What is this? Great. Google accounts is the one-stop shop that you can actually manage all your private Google activity, your privacy settings and everything. And 20 million people a day visit their Google accounts to stay informed and in control in order to check their settings. And 30,000 people checks their ad settings every hour. So if there is anyone who didn't check it up until now, I doubt in this crowd, but probably if we ask this when we go out in the university, we may see a lot of examples of people who didn't check this before. I think this is strongly recommended. So this is a tool, we strengthen the user, and we strongly suggest them to visit from time to time to keep the control of their data and to see what they can do with it. Other than that, this is the control mechanism. However, we also have some new features that we keep developing every single day. For example, the auto-deletion of data and incognito mode. Probably most of you used Chrome incognito mode before. We have the same thing in Maps as well right now. And these are the things we are doing to use less user data and to serve more. Have you ever heard federated learning? We have few engineers here. Federated learning. This is a concept we really like a lot because federated learning is actually a feature, a platform, I will say, that allows developers to train the AI models without your data leaves your device, which means that there are very smart apps that actually improves in time, and actually they don't send your data out of your device. So we call this federated learning. And at Google, we are investing most of these technologies in order to protect your data better, to give you the privacy, and so on. The second pillar, after the first pillar, to remind you, the first pillar was of the responsible innovation was privacy, security, and safety. And the second pillar is economy. So 30 years ago, maybe it was only multinational companies who were able to access to all these most recent emerging technologies in terms of growing their business. However, today, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you are Google or whether you are just an SMB trying to export goods and services from Istanbul, Kapalı Çarşı to, I don't know, Europe, to United States, anywhere else in the world. They're all using the same technologies. But of course, this requires new skills, and new skills with the new digital tools, if they combine both of them, they bring more growth, more jobs created, and also more exports. Because I remember in the previous panel, one of the speakers mentioned whether these AI will decrease the number of the jobs or not, how we will be managing this. Yes, maybe there are some part of the jobs how many minutes do I have? 2 minutes, okay. Can I speak more? I just covered the half of the topic. I'm so sorry. So, what else? Regulation part, again. We believe in responsible and thoughtful regulation, which means actually co-regulation for us. Unfortunately, in Turkey, we don't see many examples of co-regulation because in many cases, the government is regulating very important parts of the economy and technology with no guidance from the industry representatives, NGOs, think tanks, academics. But we believe in the value of working together with the governments. Co-regulation is a great concept because I think we need to understand each other much better. The global tech companies need to understand users, governments, societies, concerns and asks, requests, expectations. And we also can show them the economic and social opportunities we can bring with these technologies. So we need to talk more, that's an obvious case. And second thing, in many cases, governments are rather bringing hard rules than principles. We believe that bringing principles in this newly emerging world, because we're just at the very beginning of a long journey, and we don't know what the next day will bring to us. And bringing principles will create a much more sustainable system. And actually, it will allow us to adjust ourselves to the next day's unknown problems as well. That's why we believe in the value of the principles. So, what is next? The next thing is AI, of course. And I saw that today's conference covers 3 topics about new technologies and ethics and what is going on, how the future will be shaped. Well, half of the world is online, yet half of them will come online in the next couple of years, I hope. And this is a great opportunity, and this is the era of digitization. This is the pivotal moment that we are moving ahead with AI. When you are moving with AI, probably you need really great leaders on how to manage this. So, now let's ask this. Anyone who didn't use any of these products? Any, 1, 2, none? Anyone who didn't use any of them? So these are all Google products, not all of them maybe, but quite a lot of them. And AI is used across all Google products. So we are developing our products responsibly and thoughtfully. You might know a concept. At the lunch, I had the chance to talk to Robin, and she asked a lot of great questions to me. And we have a concept called beta. When Google releases a product which is not really ready, it is a beta. And we develop it with the developers, with the feedbacks we received, and so on. And it's actually, it is a thing, it's a principle at Google when we are not sure how to go ahead, but you are sharing it with the beta version, and then you develop it with the communities. So AI is actually something at this baby stages, and we are learning a lot. We may, a few years ago, I guess, we called gorillas, I can't see the speaker telling us this example, but yeah, we make mistakes, but we are also learning because machine learning is something really developing. What else? With Google AI, we are supporting social good initiatives. First of all, we use Google research and engineering experience in positive societal change projects. We are working with the counterparts, and for example, we are working on healthcare, crisis prevention, nature, environmental conservation, and these type of stuff. And this is where Google research and all the engineering experience goes into it. I will give you some examples as well if my time allows me. And at the same time, we are trying to create an ecosystem as well, how you can support AI. Have you ever heard the AI Impact Challenge? None. This is a program we launched with $25 million funding, and the calls were due in January this year. We received 2,600 applications from around 119 countries in the world. And this was about how you can use AI to solve a social problem, how you can solve problems, find solutions to societal challenges with AI. The 20 winner teams came from 12 countries. And actually, we are very much excited with the number of the first applicants, and we will continue supporting this ecosystem. Another thing is, have you ever heard TensorFlow, for example? Yes? TensorFlow actually is an open source machine learning library, which we provide to scientists, researchers, high school students, really. Anyone can take TensorFlow and build on the top of it and customize things. Because as Google, we love to build and give people computerization platforms that will also enable them to develop new technologies. This is one part. And the second part is the Google Cloud AI, which could be definitely used for translation, computation, and at the same time, all these language-related stuff. Other than that, we also provide free courses for ML Crush courses, which is also a content we provide to Google engineers, is now public, and you can use it wherever you want. AI is used by doctors, by farmers, by SMBs, by actually by everyone. And let me give you an example. For example, Aerobus. They are one of the largest satellite imagery suppliers in the world. However, their job actually depends so much on the weather conditions because their clients want to have really clear and clean imagery from them to do their job, like, for example, precision farmers or people working on the environment, on forestry. They need really clean-cut imagery of the satellites, but they cannot manage it all the time. And Airbus was working on this more than 20 years now. With Google Cloud Machine Learning, they increased their rate of accuracy and precision and decreased down their false levels quite dramatically. Another example will be from employment area. There is this French National Employment Agency, Pôle Emploi, and they built a service called La Bonne Boîte. This is actually using AI to just analyze companies who will be opening open vacancies in the next 6 months. So they make an estimation of which companies will be actually publishing new open positions. And this is served for the job seekers so that job seekers can actually apply those companies with more ratio of success. Another thing will be on health. On diabetic retinopathy, this is the fastest growing cause for preventable blindness. And there are 415 million diabetic patients in the world. And over 100 million of them actually are suffering from diabetic retinopathy. And if you can develop a neural net, if you can teach a neural net how to diagnose this, actually the number of eye doctors you need in especially developing countries will decrease down, and you will be able to diagnose this preventable blindness cause, this illness, very quickly, and you will be healing at low cost. Another example could be earthquake aftershock forecasting. Actually, this was a much more moving slide, but you can only see the blue part right now. This is the imagery of an earthquake from South California from 1992. And the blue part with the other colors shows the initial earthquake, and the other red dots are the aftershocks. There are models that tries to estimate where will be the aftershocks after an earthquake. And this model, based on Google AI, actually had more precision. Not perfect at all yet, but much better than the previous models. And it shows you where are the aftershocks area. I think it's also another great example of use for the AI. Last example. Sorry if I am too boring for you. Google.org funded a project by Gina Davis Institute for Gender. And through the AI, they actually calculated how much male and female actors and actresses are speaking in the top box movies, top box television series. And they found out that men speak two times more than women at that movie. So sometimes you can also use AI spotting some social biases as well. At the end, I talked about principles. I said that we believe in the value of and the strength of the principles. These are Google AI principles. We brought this to the industry, and it's also a good intent, showing our good intent to work with the government and co-regulate this very new area, very new emerging technology, and to make use of this for the good of everyone. But of course, this is not the end of the road, because we keep learning more and more every single day from different cases, from different industries, and we are also matching this in our learning. We are adding this to our learning and keep developing the products. This is what we do on our part, but we also believe in the strength of engaging with the governments and with other stakeholders, because we believe that they have a great role to play, because they are the pivots to regulate these areas and setting out the principles. And we would like to work with them very strongly, with your help, of course, because I believe universities, research, and scientists, they are the pivotal people for us in this interesting and exciting journey. Thank you so much. If I may answer any of your questions, I will be very happy. Thank you.